Hello everybody, and welcome to Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, the best metal of the Metal Gear series. And if you disagree, I will fight you, much like how this is going here. This is such a cool touch. But we'll get to all this nonsense later. For now, let's jump into it. But yes, as I say, this is Metal Gear Solid 3. This is the best Metal Gear. It is the best one. I don't know what this does, but I'm going to say I like Metal Gear Solid 3, and we're going to do this on... I like European Extreme. I don't know what that is. Why European? Do the Japanese think that Euro audiences are more hardcore? Yeah, that on that one, game ends when being seen by an enemy. Not even if they don't call an alert. If they even see you, that's it. For action game experts, confident players, standard, non-action. Yeah, we're gonna do this on normal. We're not gonna try and be funny about this.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West.
Those dulcet tones.
This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Metal Gear Solid 3 is very interesting in my mind because it's one of those games where you can play it completely in of itself. You don't need to touch any of the rest of the series either side. You can just play 3 and it will make... It is like a perfectly good standalone title. Apparently it was originally going to be a James Bond game. I don't know where I heard that, but apparently that was a thing. It was originally going to be a Bond title, but the Konami higher-ups were like, no, we're not paying for the licensing.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waist know what he's doing?
Panty waist. Man, you know it's the 60s.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Oh, so cool.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
Oh, it actually says Snake Eater on his mask. I didn't spot that. I don't think I've ever spotted that before.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius.
Ooh.
2 minutes to drop off.
Bit nippy.
Stand up.
Negative 46. I guess we are.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
I have to wonder if that's like actually good technique where he just sort of falls out the back of the craft like that. That doesn't seem like a great idea.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the Virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the Virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
I wonder if they called it that just so they could make that gag.
Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov? Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first, and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent.
Bloody hell, I bet.
And it was only a week
Can't
later
even
that
imagine.
we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handed him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then, a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
So, a fairly simple setup. We're here to save a Soviet weapons scientist. Plenty of political intrigue, but nothing that's going to bend your brain like Metal Gear Solid 2 did.
Listen up, Jack.
Oh yeah,
Your mission
this is a thing you can do. Every now and then you'll have
the
a
Soviet mountains. Ensure the
prompt
safety of
to hold
Sokolov and
R1.
bring him back to the west. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proof.
And then in Peace Walker and 5, Kojima would completely rehash how that works.
Shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talon?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Oh, whoops. Clipped a tree. Oh, crap. Narrowly avoid just plunging to your death. There's an alternate version of that cutscene you can see. Maybe don't just leave that stuff on the floor. It's got US Army printed all over it. Oh, look at that beard. Look at that beard. HD's been kind to you, Snake. because this is the 60s, no nano communications, it's just a radio pack.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave
Kojima's
no
a fan
trace
of
your
Bowie,
presence.
if you didn't guess.
Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now
Oh yeah, I
see
should
why
show
you
this
asked me
off.
if I like snakes.
We now
I
have
suppose calling
little
me
pictures
Snake
of...
was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah.
About the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Alright. And welcome to Metal Gear Solid 3. As you can see, we are no longer bound by the fixed camera angles, although we can be if we want to. Because this is the HT re-release, there's a toggle function where you can turn the camera back to its original version. But we have some biscuits, knife, revival pill, but all the rest of our stuff is in the backpack, which we don't have yet, so let's go fetch that. Also, here's a cool new thing, which I love. So, you can either sneak using the analog stick, which is not entirely reliable, but what you can also do, they've bound go slow to the D-pad. But first things first, something's moving over here. Where is it? Ha! R Frog B. So now if we go into food, we've got some biscuits. Not eaten yet, taste unknown. Depending on, so we've got the life bar in the top left there, and the segmented bar is our stamina bar. Depending on how much Snake likes a thing, it will restore different amounts of stamina. So...
Disgusting.
Okay, so he's not a fan of the tree frog. Unfortunately, there are none of those like African ones that make you trip out. So there's no option to get Snake high as hell. And there we go. That action will only come up about twice in the whole game.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Survival viewer
Yep,
is the
that's
fancy
right.
word for the pause menu.
Survival is fundamental to this mission.
Well, yes.
After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it.
Oh,
The suppressor's
fine.
durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in
I hope you
Russia.
never have to take a pee,
It could
Snake.
spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right.
I'm glad you're keeping up,
It also records
Snake.
the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh?
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
It's a hell of a
You've
thing to
lost
be
weight.
counting.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top-secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being
In
patriotic.
China, they
It
say.
means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes?
It's good to hear your voice again.
Same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC? Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is
That's a hell of a
141.80.
distance to be
Call me if
communicating
you need
over.
my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
CQC is the new big system that they touted all over this game when it was coming out.
Commence Virtuous mission now.
Begin. But, so you can see in the bottom right, we've got our gun now, and that says CQC, which means we can do CQC from it. So we can do our basic combo. But if we manage to get behind someone, we can grab them and do all sorts of fun stuff. Oh, I should also show something off, because I believe, before we go on, here we go. So we now have the Camo System, and you can see it's got all the... Oh, I started with all the flags unlocked. I thought you had to beat the game to get those. Smashing. No, we're going to put Woodland on, but I want to show off this mask. If at the start you selected I like MGS2, you always start with this mask. But if you selected at the start I like MGS2, then Snake will be wearing this up until you have the conversation with Boss, I believe. So we also want to have Tiger Stripe. Huh, they added in... Alright, we'll switch to Flectarn then. Yeah, this was all stuff that you had to, like, download or something. Again, I thought you had to, like, beat the game to get these. Let's not fiddle with that until we have a reason to. Swampland. I'm gonna put the fixed camera on for a while. Oh yeah, I should show off. We don't have a radar, but what we do is we have the sonar and we have the motion detector, both of which have a battery. Oh yeah, and we can hold L1 to, like, lock our view. So, there's crocodiles. Don't mess with those guys, they'll fuck you up. Let's stick to the left. Actually, if I go to the radio and call, I think it's the Major?
Snake, be careful of that
Yeah,
swamp.
he'll explain what's going on with the
What's
swamp.
dangerous about it?
It's a bottomless swamp.
A bottomless swamp.
Yes. The mud in that swamp is highly viscous. It will stick to your body like tar. It will be impossible for you to swim. If you get swallowed by the bottomless swamp, you won't be able to escape on your own. Once you sink down to about head level, you'll be trapped for good. Make sure you get out before that happens.
So, I have to make sure I don't sink too far. Got it.
Snake, wait.
There's more?
Yes.
What?
Crocodiles.
Crocodiles?
Yes.
Crocodiles. Like the reptile.
That's correct. More accurately, they're Indian gavials.
What are crocs doing deep in this forest?
Yeah,
You'll
we're
have
in
to ask
Russia.
Paramedic about that one. Paramedic?
Yes. The Indian gavial is a crocodile that originally lived in freshwater regions in India and Nepal.
Why are Indian crocodiles way out here?
They're captive crocodiles that were brought here for research purposes but escaped and became wild again. Indian gavials are large creatures. Adult males grow to over 6 meters in length. You'll never catch one alive, even if you use the tranquilizer gun.
Yeah, the damn thing is bigger than
Got
me.
it. So, how do they...
Taste? Yes, I did look into that. You know what they always say. Tastes like chicken.
Sounds delicious.
But be
Every
careful when capturing an
creature-
Indian gavial. Normally they're cowardly creatures, but the ones in the forest there are belligerent. Apparently they attack humans.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
they will fuck you up
They
if you
weren't
mess
the
with them.
direct subject of any serious research, but some think they may have become violent as a side effect of the atomic research that was conducted nearby.
Is that a thing? But yeah, don't mess with the crocs because they'll fuck you up. They can do a lot of damage, and they also have a move that will kill you instantly if you're not careful. But every creature that gets brought up, Snake will ask how it tastes. Schlup, schlup. That's the way I came in by... Not seeing any items. Okay, nope, don't go back in the water. Ha! Hang on. There we go. That is Snake H. Reticulated Python. Are they the ones that are poisonous? Because you can do a fun thing with the... Hang on. I'll actually show this off. If anytime you catch a creature, you can call paramedic and question it about it.
You caught yourself a reticulated python. The reticulated python is said to be the longest snake in the world. The biggest ones can grow up to 10 meters in length. Although they're not poisonous, they're still very dangerous, so be careful around them.
Okay,
they have a highly ferocious temperament, and
the
they can
ones
swallow
that'll like strangle
even
you.
large animals like deer and pigs. Their most distinguishing feature is the mesh pattern of their scales. This pattern acts as a highly effective natural camouflage. If you think there might be a reticulated python about, pay close attention to your surroundings. Otherwise, you could get bitten before you even know it's there.
Right. But how do they taste?
Huh?
Do they taste good?
You're actually going to eat one.
Why else would I be asking? What was that?
Nothing. Let's see what the guide says. Ah, you're in luck. It says they taste pretty good.
Good. I can hardly wait.
Fucking weirdo. I love paramedics. Ugh. Oh. Fruit. What did we pick up? Golova. Alright, we'll save some of those so we can actually have something to restore our stamina with later. I'm not going for... This isn't a Markor run. Because that's a thing you can do in this game, is if you... Because we had all the code names at the end of previous missions, you can get the Markor, which is for eating everything in the game. There's a trophy that's associated with this.
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Alright, now the gameplay begins.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer.
I've already shown it
The
off. Keep
Uniform
up.
option lets you pick your uniform, while the Face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the Camo Index. The Camo Index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Easy enough. I used to be really paranoid about the Camo Index. Just like every time I moved anywhere, I would change it. So we've got one guy over there. The dudes in this game also have much longer vision radius. Bug juice. Let's sneak into this tall grass here. So we're at 90%, so he's not going to be able to see us unless he properly stands on my head. Let's sneak by him while he's got his back turned. Anybody else around? I think that dude's coming back, so let's get to the next patch. Oh, do we have the map yet? Yes, we do. We actually have a map. And we can actually go from zone to zone to see what's where. Okay. Open area over here. That's the exit to the north. One dude. Some tree trunks. Apparently we're like somewhere around Pakistan, according to the intro. The Soviet Union covered a lot of ground during its peak. Oh god.
Who's that?
Oh wow, that was fast.
Radio, we need backup. HQ respond.
Wow, that was fast. I was expecting him to at least like investigate first. Bloody hell. Come on, I want to show off the... Yeah, that's the new CQC system. Is you can just grab a guy and suplex him. Leg it! Wow, I was really anticipating this guy too. Oh god. Okay, I need to hide somewhere and get rid of this alert before I go down there, because that's a bridge. What the? How am I supposed to escape? They won't... There's nowhere for me to bloody lose them. There we go. That's one change, is that evasion is now an actual phase of the alert.
What's wrong?
There we go. Trank finally kicked in. Stay asleep, would you?
What's wrong? HQ, please respond.
This is HQ.
Control here. Who's that?
Acknowledge. Enemy is still nearby.
There we go.
Pursue and engage him.
Let's get out of here before they try anything clever. Okay. Managed to actually shake the alert, which means I'm going to have at least a halfway decent chance of getting through this area. Oh, he's in the right place. Okay. Where is it? There. Bees! That's a whole thing, is you can shoot down wasps' nests. Careful. There we go. Let's move slowly, because this bridge shudders. Careful, careful, careful. He's apparently decided not to clear off, so plug him. Come on, pick him up. There we go. We drag these guys over to these bushes. There we go. He should be nice and out of sight now. He had some grenades on him. Uh-oh. Yeah. Let's shift you over to the tall grass as well. Oh crap. Okay. Those guys that got scared off are coming back now. If we go down here, there's a secret. Hey! Stick to the wall properly now, please. There we are. So we've just picked ourselves up a M16. Now we actually have a gun. So if it all goes to pot, we do actually have something with which we can defend ourselves. Tell you what, rather than the... There we go. This should be a better option than the sonar. There's a guy walking off in that direction. Rasvet.
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump.
I'm so sorry it doesn't match your decorating standards, Snake.
I can't see Sokolov from here. The security is pretty tight.
Yeah, there's actually a fair few dudes around here.
There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
So you saw that guy with the radio on his belt. Kill that guy, and they can't call in an alert.
Sokolov is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Yeah, it's the only bit with a roof.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
And that is?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
Alright. I'm actually going to change my camo to... just to Tiger Stripe. It's a little less than Flecton, but it's better all around. That's something I didn't show off in Metal Gear Solid 2. If you hold the button when going into a roll, you automatically crawl. Okay, so we've got one guy there, one guy at the far end by the boxes. Let's stick to the fence and just take a wide berth. I think I saw a little bit of movement. There's one. Oh, that's not a dude, that's a snake or something going around the bushes. He's stopped, he's probably going to start coming back in a minute, so... Ha! Under the floorboards.
Huh?
Whoa.
Who's that?
Go, go, go.
Who's that?
Crap. Man, these guys are quicker on the draw than I remember. Get under!
Patrol here.
Ow! Excuse me.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements.
They're really trying their best here. Hi! Legs. Yeah, I remember these guys. I don't remember these guys being this quick to react to stuff. Okay. So I'm right under where Sokolov should be. Can I dip out the back here and circle around?
HQ.
This is HQ.
Patrol here.
Oh, there's some grass I can...
Alongside the enemy. Commence alert formation.
Acknowledged. The enemy is still nearby. Pursue and engage him.
You're ready for some of the best music in the series as well. I can't... I want my third-person camera. Okay, there's one. Let's start plugging some of these guys and removing them.
Is somebody there? Who's...
Oh god, it's...
HQ, respond.
This is HQ.
Come on, who's looking? Man, I'm making a complete hash of it. I think I might just... Yeah, I think I might just end up letting them kill me and, like, start this again. Because... Actually... I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna show this off. Yeah! Get wrecked. Alright, let's try that again and try and make less of a failure of things. Because, like I said, wow! This is tougher than I remember. Right, you know what? I've got 5 silencers and 41 shots in the bank. I'm going to be a bit less restrained about tranking people. Let's just... That should have him down in a little while. There he goes. Chaff grenades. Not as relevant for Metal Gear Solid 3 considering the low-tech nature. Oh. Silencer for the M16. But yeah, I'm gonna do my best. I probably shouldn't be like as restrained. I'm not going for a big boss run. Shotgun. Wow, I don't remember there being a shotgun here.
Who's that?
What? Snake. Snake. There we go. That's what you should be doing. Who is there left to request backup? I've dunked everyone. God damn, I'm not doing well here. Well, I'm now at the factory building, so we've just got to wait for evasion to run out.
I see him.
No, you don't. You're unconscious. God damn it. He blew his friend up. Who's shooting? There's nobody left. Oh, there's the last one. Come on. Right. If you're quite fucking finished.
HQ.
What?
This is HQ.
Patrol here.
How dare you still live? Alright, I'm just going for Sokolov. Jesus, we're what, four alerts deep and we're only an hour into the game?
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word.
How
But we've got no time.
ominous.
You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of Gru. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the GRU. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB 812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power. The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't
What?
need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me.
Ah, and we just beat the tar out of all of them.
Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come. I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
By the way, your Russian is superb.
Yeah, also, by the way, we're
Where did
sort
you
of
speak it?
Hunt for Red Octobering this, where just assume everyone is speaking in Russian.
Is that so? America is truly a frightening country.
Having second thoughts.
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
The look that Sokolov gives him, where he's just like, "What are you
Major,
doing?"
This is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
I managed to get past them.
I see.
That's one way
What
of putting
about
it.
the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
Yes, probably just a weak signal. Look at Sokolov. I appreciate that he's leaning into the aesthetic. Trying to focus his chi there.
Freeze!
Well, I guess it was too much to hope for. I'm guessing that one guy that we left that we left just rallied everyone.
So this is the legendary boss.
Huh?
Huh? We meet at last.
You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz.
Not so imposing with a
What's
Makarov,
a
is
crew
it?
soldier doing here?
Soldier?
He's the Ocelot commander.
That's Major Ocelot to you.
Yep, there he is.
Don't you forget it.
Our boy.
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here.
And Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
Oh, the cheese. Just taste it. that is some great camera work, and just like just some good writing of just that guy pissing himself and hiding.
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the Gru.
Sokolov, take cover.
Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
Crew operatives!
What is that stance? Huh. That gun.
The way he tilts his head in the sort of "you may laugh now," as if he's the leader of the cool kids club.
Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one! Whoa!
There he goes. Took a second, but he got him.
You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do. But testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
It is amazing seeing all the stuff that gets set up for previous games. Or at least, or potentially the next game, depending on how you handle the chronology.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you alright?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according to Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgan's.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten far. But one thing we can do, actually, if we drop a quick save, I'm going to fix the entire... I'm going to prevent the entire Metal Gear Solid series from happening right here. There's one thing we can do right in this very moment that will prevent the entirety of Metal Gears 1, 2, and
Hey Snake,
1, 2, 5, and 4.
Godzilla King of Monsters?
But first, we're going to talk about Godzilla.
What is it?
It's a movie. You haven't seen it?
Nope.
It's about this monster called Godzilla, who grows to an enormous size in a nuclear test and goes on a rampage in Tokyo.
Nuclear test, huh? Then the Marshall Islands must be crawling with giant monsters right about now.
It's just make-believe.
Maybe that's why my pants have been so tight lately.
Snake, it's a movie, not a report out of Los Alamos.
Ew.
So then what happened?
Godzilla is immune to all weapons, and humanity has no way to stop the monster. Dr. Shirazawa develops a new type of weapon, but meanwhile, Godzilla is getting closer and closer to Tokyo, obliterating everything in its path. It was originally a Japanese movie, but they made an American version, too. I recommend seeing the original Japanese one if you ever get the chance. It's mostly mindless fun, but it's also got a serious anti-nuke message as well.
Where can I see the original?
You'll just have to go to Japan.
Really? That's too bad.
Well, if you wait 40 years, you might be able to see it in America, too.
Why's that?
2004 will be Godzilla's 50th birthday.
You think they're still going to be making Godzilla movies then?
Yep.
Of course. Everybody loves Godzilla.
And none of them are any good.
Sure know a lot about movies.
I don't suppose you're the movie-watching type, are you?
Not really.
Okay, then I'll tell you everything I know. When the going gets tough, movies can save your life.
Yeah, every time we say a paramedic is going to give us some spiel about a film of the 60s.
No kidding. Well, I guess it might at least make a nice distraction.
That's the spirit, Snake. Have a little fun.
So this is what we get instead of Chinese proverbs. So, yes, as I said, we can prevent Metal Gears 2 through 4 from ever happening.
Snake, what have you done? You changed the future. You've created a time paradox.
You've created a time paradox. And if you wait for a little while, you can see the letters are changing. I love that they included that. And yeah, if you do that, then you literally do get the trophy problem solved, series over. Let's unequip the motion detector, we don't need it, and I'll save the batteries. Right now we need to get after Sokolov before he can cast himself off the bridge.
You okay?
Those men were from the Ocelot unit.
Spetsnaz?
Yes. The best crew has to offer.
And we trash canned them.
I'm finished.
Calm down. I'll get you out of here, I promise. And we've got some of the best backup we could ask for.
Look.
There it is.
That's what they were making you build?
Yes. The Shagohod. The treading behemoth. A tank capable of launching nuclear IRBMs.
It can launch nuclear missiles from that kind of terrain?
Oh, yes. and without support from friendly units.
A nuclear-equipped tank capable of operating solo.
I love the auger treads on that thing.
Is
Just
that thing
giant
finished?
drill arms.
No, this is only the end of Phase 1. It won't be truly finished until we complete Phase 2.
Phase 2.
The weapon's true form. If it is
You're saying that's not even its final form?
On it, it will mean the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War.
Yes. And then the Age of Fear will truly begin.
A world war.
I had no choice but to cooperate. I didn't want to die. I wanted to see my wife and child again in America. Please, take me to America, quickly. They cannot complete it without my help.
Got it. Let's go.
Don't look over the edge. This thing's rickety as hell.
Boss?
Good work, Jack.
What are you doing here?
Sokolov comes with me.
Bees!
Hornets.
And here's our freak show boss squad. Stereo panning. The audio means that those B sounds like they're right in my headset.
My friends, let us fight together again.
I have waited long for this day.
We will fight with you once more. Welcome back, boss.
Ugh,
Now that
those
all
weird
five
boggle
of us are
eyes.
together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself. It's raining blood. Is he crying?
Kuwabara, Kuwabara.
There's our Thunderbolt.
Ah, what a joyful scene.
You're an ugly little devil.
Colonel Vogan.
Welcome to my country. And to my unit.
Boss, what is this?
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Recoilless nuclear warheads. These will make a fine gift for me.
This can't be happening.
Who is he? Another one of your disciples? Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. Too pure for us Cobras. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
What are you talking about?
Think you can pull the trigger?
Took the entire slide off. Pretty sure you need a screwdriver to do that, don't you? Oh. Ugh. Made my stomach turn.
He's seen my face. We can't let him live. If Khrushchev finds out about this, we're finished. He must die.
Wait. He's my apprentice. I'll take care of him. Jack, you can't come with us.
I've always wondered what it must be like to record pain and effort sounds like that. I always felt like it must be so weird. Also, he's dead as hell.
The new blood has been rejected.
Falling that far onto water is like falling onto flat cement. Your body would just explode.
Are we done here?
Now, onto Sokolov's research facility.
Shagohod is ours.
Drift away. My place is with them now.
That's gonna freak me out over and over again because I have that sound effect, the codec noise, as my as my ringtone for my phone. So I'm gonna keep looking over at my phone every time.
Snake, can you hear me?
Yeah, just barely.
Snake, listen to me. You need emergency medical treatment. Can you move? You've got to get those wounds treated. Hang in there. All right, let's get you fixed up. Paramedic?
Okay, Snake. Just relax and it'll all be over before you know it.
Famous last words.
Stay with me. I've seen people in worse shape before. Think you can handle it?
Major. The boss. She's defected.
We'll talk about that later. First, we've got to get you patched up.
Okay, here we go.
Alright, now we get to
First,
show
open
off the
the
cure
survival
screen.
viewer with the start button. If you select cure, you can start the treatment. Healing is divided into treatment using medicine with the item window button and surgical treatment using the weapon window button. Your injuries include a fractured left elbow and rib bone, and lacerations on your upper arms, right elbow, and abdomen. They need to be fixed using surgical treatment. Move the healing cursor with the left stick to the affected part of your body.
Interesting idea,
Once
but I
you've
can see
selected
why
the
they
affected
dropped it from
area,
every other game.
Hold the weapon window button and use the left stick to select the medical item, and then press the enter button. With this method, you can use items to help your recovery process. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it. For lacerations, you'll need disinfectant to clean the wound, sutures to stitch it up, styptic to slow the flow of blood, and bandages to wrap the wound. If you do everything I mentioned, the wound should heal completely. Understood?
Yeah.
Stay with me. Go into the survival viewer and treat those wounds.
Alright, who's ready for some self-crash surgery? We can't move from this spot. Although it looks like we've got a friend. Apparently we're not the first one to eat shit and fall down here. There's a skeleton in the back. Alright, so, let's start with that broken arm. So, splint and a bandage. Splint and a bandage. Okay, so we're now suffering from several cuts. So, disinfectant, styptic, suture and bandage. And last one. So yeah, every wound that you get decreases your max health by a little bit, and you need to treat them piece by piece to get your max health back. Surgical supplies are limited. You have to find them in the oval. So, brace! That's where Snake got his bandana.
Snake.
We're coming to get you now. Just stay where you are. We'll drop a recovery balloon. Can you set it up?
There's that skeleton. Remember him, he's important. Not exactly a graceful way to transport something that big. You clip a tree, that's it, it's all over. That is a sadistic chuckle.
Excellent. A great success. Thanks to the boss and her cobras, I have both Sokolov and the Shagohod.
What are we going to do with the girl?
Who is she?
Apparently she's Sokolov's woman.
She's a nice catch. I'll take her.
Sokolov's done well for himself.
Not so fast, my dear. A kiss of death?
Are you KGB?
To this day, I've got no idea what that's supposed to be. Like, I haven't got a clue what that's supposed to be in her,
Yes, bunk.
in her lipstick tube.
Shall we take her back to the base?
Perhaps we should. We have no further use for Sokolov's research facility. I think it's time I gave this marvelous new toy a try.
Colonel, even if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger. It'll be our friend, the American defector.
You're going to nuke your fellow Russians?
That's the... Yeah, that's the Davy Crockett weapon system. It's real! It was a nuke launcher that was designed to be man-portable and fired from the back of a Jeep. It's real. I thought they made it up for this game, but no. It was also apparently terrible because it had a effective range that was shorter than its blast radius. Also, I'm pretty sure if you're that close to a nuke, then you'd just be, like, blasted into your own shadow. Alright, we're going to save, and we've still got half an hour left on the clock. Actually, you know what? I think we'll actually... no, we'll go through this bit and we'll pick up again another time.
With darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you.
This is what I meant by the game was originally going to be a Bond title.
But you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive. For the day we see new light, I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I'd like to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
And I'll see you all next time. Thank you, good night, and much love.